What if you knew exactly how your life would turn out? Every outcome, every loss, every moment you can't take back. Would you stop? Or would you keep going anyway? Here's what's interesting. Regret is not weakness. It's the mind honoring the past. Anxiety is not failure. It's the imagination reaching forward. Both are signs that you live deeply in time. But that raises a harder question. If the past is behind you and the future hasn't arrived, what is now? Not live in the moment. That's not what we're asking. The question is, what is this moment? What is it actually made of? 700 years ago, a Japanese monk asked the same thing. He didn't find a comforting answer. He found something stranger. His name was Dogen. Dogen was born in Kyoto in 1200. By the time he was 7, both of his parents were dead. He watched his mother's funeral smoke rise and disappear into the sky. That image, smoke, rising, gone, planted a question he couldn't shake. Why does anything have to suffer? Why do the people we love simply stop? He turned to Buddhism for answers. The tradition said every living being contains Buddha nature, an innate capacity for awakening. But then came the problem. If we're already complete, why practice at all? Why isn't just being alive enough? That contradiction became his life's work. At 23, he boarded a ship. Destination, the Song Dynasty. Not to escape Japan, to find what Japan's Buddhism couldn't give him. After years of searching, cold, uncertain, often lost, he found a teacher. A master named Rujing at Tiantong Monastery. Rujing didn't lecture much. He sat. He watched. He waited. One morning, during a long retreat, a monk beside Dogen fell asleep. Rujing leaned over quietly and said, "Drop off body and mind." Something happened to Dogen. In that moment, he couldn't explain it in words. He would spend the rest of his life trying. Back in Japan, he founded a Heiji monastery, deep in the mountains of Echizen. There, he wrote the Shobo Genzo, Treasury of the True Dharma Eye, 95 chapters, a lifetime of thinking, about one morning's experience. One chapter, more than any other, took him into the deepest water. It was called Being Time. In Dogen's century, there were no mechanical clocks. Time was measured by temple bells, by the angle of sunlight, by the stars moving overhead. It felt circular, not linear, seasons returning, years completing. And yet everyone knew, things pass, people die, smoke rises and is gone. Dogen's question wasn't, what time is it? His question was, what is time? We tend to picture time as a river. The past is upstream, the future is downstream. We stand somewhere in the middle, watching it flow past. Sounds reasonable. Dogen said, "That's wrong. Time is not something flowing past you while you stand on the bank. You don't have a relationship with time. You are time. To exist is to be time. Being and time are the same thing." He wrote, "The mountains and rivers of Nikon, right now, just this, are the manifestation of the ancient Buddha's way. Not yesterday's mountains, not tomorrow's mountains. The mountains of this moment are the mountains. This sounds like poetry. It isn't. It's a claim about the nature of existence itself. The mountain doesn't exist inside time. The mountain existing is time. So what is Nikon? It's usually translated as right now, just this. But Dogen is careful here. He's not saying, ignore the past, forget the future. He's saying something more unsettling. Nikon is not the present, after you've stripped away the past and future. Nikon contains them. Think of a mountain. That mountain carries millions of years of geology. Every fault line, every glacier, every upheaval that shaped it. All of that is present in this mountain right now. The mountain of Nikon doesn't erase its history. It holds it. Now, return to the opening question. What if you knew the future? Dogen's answer, I think, would be, knowing is one thing. Being here is another. Knowledge is information about a moment. Nikon is the moment itself. Even if you knew exactly how this sentence would end, you would still be here in this particular light, receiving it in your particular way. That experience cannot be replaced by information. Regret is not the enemy. Anxiety is not the enemy. Losing Nikon, that seems to be the only thing Dogen truly worried about. Here's where it gets close to home. We live in a time of extraordinary recall and extraordinary prediction. Your phone holds every photo, every message, every moment you've recorded. AI systems model likely futures with increasing precision. The past is more retrievable than ever. The future is more anticipated than ever. And somehow, the present keeps slipping. Dogen saw this pattern in 13th century Japan. Not the technology, obviously, but the habit, the deep human tendency to be anywhere but here. He didn't blame people for it. He understood it. What he offered wasn't a cure. It was a practice. He called it Henri. Walking, moving, continuing. Zazen, seated meditation, is not about emptying the mind. It's not about achieving some blank state where thoughts don't exist. It's about returning. Breath leaves, attention wanders, you return. The river model of time says, you lost a moment, it's gone, move on. Dogen's model says, Nikon is always here, you can always return. Not because the present is permanent, because it's all there is. He spent 40 years writing about one morning, the morning everything dropped away, and still he sat, still he returned. Perhaps that was the teaching itself. So, is there something you regret? Is there something ahead that frightens you? Dogen would not ask you to let it go. He knew you couldn't. He didn't either. What he might ask is quieter than that. In the middle of the regret, is there a moment? In the middle of the fear, is Nikon still there? If you knew exactly how everything would turn out, could you stop experiencing what you're experiencing right now? The grief, the stillness, the faint sound of whatever is happening outside your window. Knowledge cannot replace that. Dogen never finished the Shobogenzo. He died at 53, still writing, still returning. Where is your Nikon?